The ninth tip is about how much you should eat of all these different healthy things like vegetables, berries and fruits, protein sources, starch sources, and so forth. A really good starting point is the tea plate. So if you imagine that you have a tea and you put it on top of a plate, everything above the tea, which would be here, and that's at least half, should be vegetables and berries and fruits if they're part of the meal. And that goes in general what you eat, not just on the plate, but throughout the day in your diet. Make sure that at least half of what you consume is vegetables, berries, and fruits. And then, if you're looking at the plate, get about a quarter, which would be, again, if we use this tea model, that would be some healthy protein source with some healthy fat. So here I have some chicken that's been roasted in the oven with tomato and spices, and then I have some olives, could be avocado, could be some nuts. And then about a quarter of the plate, when you use the tea, should be some starchy foods like here I have chickpeas that have been turned with some cardamom, some curry powder, and some good extra virgin olive oil and pepper, but it could also be potatoes, whole grain pasta, black rice, wild rice, and so forth. And obviously for the protein part, plant-based options are fine as well, but it should be some of those that are much more concentrated like tofu or some of the legume pastas like soybean pasta and so forth. If you actually keep these proportions, first of all, you'll get plenty of plant food. So as you can see, most of the food on this plate is from the plant realm, so that's environmentally friendly. It's going to be highly satiating, so you're less likely to overeat or snack in between meals. And in terms of your health, this sort of mix is definitely good for you. Lots of vegetables, berries and fruits, sensible amounts of protein from healthy sources, starches, but not in excess and from real food. So it's a simple, effective starting point. And there's plenty of freedom, so you can sort of make sure that it accommodates your dietary preferences. Whether you want raw vegetables, like here I have a salad, or you want them steamed or grilled or stir-fried, sautéed. And what protein sources you prefer, what starch sources you prefer. And obviously if you're making like a greenier smoothie and things go in a blender, if you're making a soup, then you can't pour it onto a plate, but still think about those proportions. At least half vegetables, berries and fruits, about a quarter protein and healthy fat, and some starches, maybe not in your smoothie, but otherwise. And that also comes back to this notion I told you about handfuls or fists and palms. So for every main meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, get 2 good handfuls of vegetables, berries, and fruits. Obviously, a salad leaf, even a big one, won't count because that's too little. Get anywhere from a palmful to a handful of quality protein, a bit of healthy fat. And if you're using oils and you really want to measure, go anywhere from half a thumb to a whole thumb, depending on your calorie needs. And then you get anywhere from a palmful to a handful of healthy starchy foods that suit you, not stacked 7 stories high. If you have an issue with carbohydrates because you actually have an issue, say type 2 diabetes, pre-type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, or carbs really make you bloated and mess up your digestion, then obviously you just alter the tea plate and take away that part. So you can modify it depending on your health needs or medical needs, but for general health, for easy nutrition that is easy to decipher, easy to follow, and leaves enough place for you and your unique culinary preferences in your daily life, start with the tea plate. And guys, if you think, all that rabbit food, well, the tea's actually for testosterone, because this stuff is not just good for your health, it's also good for your fertility. So bon appetit.